All right, so this question asks us to find the distance between these 2 points and the midpoint of the segment that joins the 2 points. So the first thing we'll need to do is read the graph and be able to label these points. So I'm going to read this point. Now, I want to make sure of when they label the graph, they've labeled this with 1, meaning each tick mark this way is 1 unit. So this would be 2, 3, and 4. And they've labeled this one with 2 here, so that means this was 1. And then these are also 1 unit apart. And I'm going to just put in the numbers so I can reference them. Okay, so I kind of filled in the graph here, and now I'm going to write out what the ordered pair would be for this point that you see here. So, oh, I should go one over here. So to get to this point, you have to go 5 on the x-axis and down -3 on the y. So this would be the point 5, -3. To get to this point here, you have to go -3 on the x-axis, and you have to go up 1, 2, 3. So 3 units up. So those are my 2 points, and I'm going to use that in the distance formula. So let's write out the distance formula as our book shows it. So the distance formula looks like this. So it's the difference between the x-coordinate squared added to the difference between the y-coordinates squared. And then you take the square root of that. So what I need to do is I'm going to label my points. So, and it doesn't matter which one I call x1, y1, and which one I call x2, y2. In the end, it will be the same regardless of where you put your first set of points and second set of points. So x2 I labeled as 5 and x1 was -3. So, and I like to put parentheses around here to show that it's minus -3. And then I've got y2, which is -3, minus y1, which is 3, and that's squared. So I'm going to do this calculation, and 5 minus a -3 is going to be 5 plus 3. When you subtract a negative number, it becomes plus. And here I have a -3 minus 3. So -3 minus 3 is the same as -3 plus a -3, which would end up being -6. So now let's continue. I've got 8 squared plus -6 squared. When I square 8, I'll get 64, and when I square -6, I will get a positive 36. When you square a negative number, it's -6 times itself twice, or -6 times -6, which is 36. Adding the two together, I will get 100, and then take the square root of 100. What number multiplied by itself twice gives you 100, and that answer is 10. So the distance between these 2 points is 10 units. So that is the answer to part A. Now to find the midpoint, I'm going to use the midpoint formula. So let me write that down below. The midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and that will give you the ordered pair of the x-coordinate. And then you take the y1 and y2 and add them together and divide by 2. So it's the average of the x's and the average of the y's. So let's put those in. So -3 plus 5 over 2, and +3 plus -3 over 2. So that's my ordered pair. When I do this calculation, I'll end up with 2 over 2 as my x coordinate and 0 over 2 as my y coordinate. Simplifying that, I'll get 1, 0. So these are my 2 answers for this type of problem.